Christianity is this huge global force shaping history and the lives of billions. So, where did it all start? We're going to trace its journey from a tiny seed in the ancient world to one of the most influential movements in all of human history. So, just how big are we talking? Well, it really comes down to one word: billions. That's how many people follow Christianity today, making it the largest religion on the planet. Its influence stretches across every single continent and has for centuries. Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? How on earth did a faith that started with just a handful of followers in a small corner of the Roman Empire become this global phenomenon? That's the incredible story we're here to unpack. All right, so let's get into it. To find the answer, we have to travel way back, 2,000 years, to the ancient roots of this faith in the Middle East. Okay, picture this. We're going back more than 2,000 years to a place called Judea. And you really have to understand the context here. This wasn't some independent kingdom. Judea was under the control of the mighty Roman Empire, which, as you can imagine, created a really tense and difficult situation for the people living there. So the folks in Judea, who are mostly Jewish, were really feeling the pressure of being ruled by someone else. And that led to this widespread hope, this really deep desire for a special leader, a Messiah, who they believed would show up and bring back peace and justice to their land. And this is absolutely key to understanding the whole story. Christianity didn't just appear out of nowhere. It grew right out of the soil of Judaism. I mean, its very first followers, including its central figure, were Jewish. They saw this new path as a fulfillment of their own ancient prophecies. So, it was into this world, a world of Roman occupation and this deep hope for a savior, that one person emerged. An individual who would become the absolute center of this new faith: Jesus. I mean, the entire Christian faith from top to bottom is built on the life and teachings of this one person, Jesus of Nazareth. He is the cornerstone. His message is the foundation for, well, everything that comes next. So what are the core ideas about Jesus? Well, first off, Christians believe he's the Son of God, that long-awaited Messiah. But he was also this revolutionary teacher. His message was actually radical for its time, but also incredibly simple. He talked about love, forgiveness, and kindness. He consistently pushed people to care for the poor and treat everyone fairly. And he did this using these simple, relatable stories called parables so that anyone could understand these big moral lessons. And, if you had to boil down his entire teaching into one sentence, it might be this one: treat others the way you want to be treated. We know it as the golden rule, right? And it was the absolute core of his vision for a better, more compassionate world. Okay, so where do we find all these teachings? Well, the story of Jesus and all the core ideas of the faith are collected in one sacred book, the Bible. Now, the Christian holy book, the Bible, is actually split into two main parts. You've got the Old Testament, which contains the sacred writings that Christianity actually shares with Judaism. Then there's the New Testament, and that's what's unique to Christianity. It focuses specifically on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus and what his earliest followers were up to. But a book and a message are one thing. How did they actually get out there? How did this faith travel from one tiny province in the Middle East and become a global religion? That's the next piece of the puzzle. This timeline shows just what a remarkable journey it was. It all started small, right? Just Jesus' disciples sharing his message after he died. But then it just caught fire. It spread all through the roads and trade routes of the Roman Empire in those first few centuries. Then, during the Middle Ages, it basically became the defining faith of Europe. And finally, from the 16th century on, it just exploded across the entire globe. It's really an incredible story when you stop and think about it. What started with just one teacher and a small group of followers in this tiny region eventually crossed oceans and continents to reach, well, pretty much every corner of the earth. And that brings us right up to today. After 2,000 years of history, what is the lasting impact of this faith? Why do these ancient beginnings still matter so much in our world right now? Well, the impact is huge. It's almost hard to overstate. Christian ideas have woven themselves into the very fabric of our world, influencing everything from laws and art to culture on every continent. It's been a massive force in shaping world history and its core values, things like compassion and justice. They continue to guide and inspire billions of people every single day. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Just look around you. Think about our laws, our ethics, even our holidays and art. How do these ideas, which were born in a small corner of the world 2,000 years ago, continue to shape the world that you live in today?